my name is Patrick W. Galbraith, and thank you for inviting me. It's really great to kind of connect with people this way. It's kind of odd. I feel like I'm Hal or something from Space Odyssey. I'm just a voice. Maybe it's something like Nerve. I'm just a sound-only kind of monolith speaking to you. But it's really nice, I think, well, for me anyway, to get a chance to talk about otaku and how it's perceived in Japan and overseas and things like that. And also to talk a little bit about the Otaku Encyclopedia, the book I wrote about the new trends in Japanese pop culture, otaku culture in Japan. So basically, before I talk about the book and my perceptions of otaku, I want to talk a little bit about, want to tell you about who I am. So I'm from Alaska, farm boy, basically. I moved from Alaska to Montana. Wasn't very happy with the move, and I started getting into more and more into anime as kind of an escapist sort of thing. Stopped talking to people. Literally not talking to anybody, spending all the time in my room watching anime. Fell in love with Sailor Moon, fell in love with Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo, that's it, the rest is history. No longer can kind of go back to the three-dimensional world the way I could before. So I kind of really became a huge anime fan. I wanted to know more about it. When I was a kid back in Anchorage, we were getting videotapes and things like that of anime from Japan, but it was all in Japanese, so we really couldn't understand it. So it was really a mysterious kind of thing, and I wanted to know more about it. So when I became just obsessed with anime later on in Montana, it kind of became the way I directed my life. So I went to Sophia University in Tokyo in 2004 as kind of a way to extend my studies of anime and anime culture and things like that. Really, I became very interested in knowing more about what was going on behind the anime, what was going on behind these creators and things like that. But when I got to Tokyo in 2004, I found that things weren't quite the way I had imagined them. It wasn't quite Neo-Tokyo. There wasn't quite as many, flying schoolgirls and, Godzilla attacking the city. And a lot of the things that I had imagined weren't quite as I had imagined. It was kind of maybe I had gone a little bit too far in my imagining of the world of Japan as kind of the otaku world. And among those different things that I kind of was made to reconsider was otaku. And one of the things that kind of happened with that is I was going around telling everybody, everywhere, that I am an otaku. And it's not really a strange thing for me at the time to say that. And didn't work out very well. People were saying that's not a good thing to say. And I actually lost a few dates on that account. So I became kind of even more aware of my social awkwardness because I was using this term that actually signified my social awkwardness to the Japanese listeners. And so I kind of wanted to know more about the different interactions between this otaku, this word otaku, and the people who identify with it and don't identify with it. So I came back to Japan in 2006 to do research at Sophia University again. Now I'm at the University of Tokyo, still doing the research. And that basically became the Otaku Encyclopedia. I was going over different terms, talking to different people about different ideas of otaku, different perceptions, their own personal history of being an otaku, and so on and so forth. So basically the book is geared towards understanding a new kind of otaku. Sometimes they're called wotaku, so W-O-O-T-A-K-U, or sometimes they're called Akiba-K, so Akiba style. That doesn't actually literally mean that they hang out in Akihabara. What it means is that they have a certain kind of taste, moe anime or idols or performative kinds of things like tasha, painful cars with have anime decals, beautiful girls on them, cosplay, stuff like that. They're usually interested in remix culture, so things like Nikunuku Doga, Ni Channel. They're interested in doujinshi and things like that. So I really became interested in understanding more about this group of people as kind of how they're positioned against other groups of otaku. So as far as I know, there's probably about 6 ways that you can describe anime fans at this point in time, or that you can use the word otaku between the United States and Japan. So one, of course, is the original meaning of otaku. I think by going through these different definitions, we'll kind of get an idea of where we're coming from and where we're going with this. So the first definition of otaku is your home, right? This is the one that actually originated in Japan. They still use it in Western Japan. It just means you. It's a very polite, honorific thing. That's when it's written in kanji, Chinese characters. Japanese borrow Chinese characters and use that. So the original meaning is just you. Then if you write it in hiragana, which is the local Japanese script, syllabary, that means a subculture that appeared in the 1980s. Especially a group of people who was interested in the new media, so new animation. They were interested in OVAs. They were interested in animation that was high quality, niche, had more sexuality, had more violence, stuff like that. Pretty much after Yamato, things like Macross, and so on and so forth. So really that, and also Gundam, of course. So that's the otaku with hiragana script. And of course, this is coming over to the United States, especially in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Probably a lot of you have experienced this yourself. The word otaku became kind of big overseas, especially in fan circles, coming out of the sci-fi fan conventions. And that can also be used as a way to say otaku. At that time, it was something like a badge of honor. It appears on the front cover of Wired magazine. Their original issue of Wired magazine, otaku is written there in hiragana. So if you identify yourself as an otaku in that sense, and someone who's coming from overseas, then you're considered an otaku in Roman letters. And people in Japan actually also use this. They do specials in magazines about otaku in Roman letters, the foreign fans of Japanese animation, and so on and so forth. That's becoming problematic. I'll talk about that in just a second. There's other ways to identify now. I think that the term otaku in the United States is kind of more complicated than that, but it's one way. So that's 3 ways to identify as otaku. One more way would be otaku written in katakana. Katakana is the Japanese script that describes foreign loanwords. So basically words that are foreign to Japan, or putting words in italics is a good way to describe it. So if you write otaku in italics, or if you write otaku in the local katakana script, what you're saying is this is not really a Japanese word. And it's interesting because this is the way that otaku has been used since about 2003, 4, 5, around the time that I was doing my research on otaku. So really it was in a state of flux. It's a local word, otaku, to describe a subculture that's mixing with a foreign word to describe anime fans, right? So the hiragana word is mixing with the Roman letter word together to create this new katakana word, this new loan word to describe in a more general kind of cool way this new kind of fan who we call otaku. And this is the way it's been described in the media, it's the way it's been described, or this is the way the word is written and used in Japanese government campaigns to promote cool Japan, the way it's been used in media to talk about the new otaku and things like that. So really, that's another shift, kind of reclaiming otaku in the popular imagination. And the best example of this, of course, is Densho Otaku in 2005. This is a primetime TV drama where they actually set the drama, so a trendy drama about falling in love and consumption and things like that, very popular in Japan. And it's set, kind of in the Akihabara otaku mode right here. You've got a young man who's very socially awkward. He falls in love with this girl, he learns how to kind of be more of a man, and sure enough, he becomes a new kind of, a new possibility for masculinity in Japan, even though he is an otaku at the same time. This was not possible in the 1980s and the 1990s when otaku was basically a 4-letter word. It was actually banned in Asahi Shimbun, so one of the major newspapers. It was banned in NHK, which is the national broadcast, something like BBC. So it was really a bad word in the 80s and 90s, kind of a word of discrimination. But then it was reclaimed in the 2000s.